Hello, it's Molly Reamer with 30 Days of Goddess and Bridget's Grove with some flip through videos of my July prayer book. So I have my daily practice prayer book. I have my Simple and Sacred Summer Guidebook. This one was combined for June and July, and but I used a different copy for June and then this one for July. So the resources I've added to it were just for July. And then my mini Ariadne prayer book as well. So I'm going to keep this relatively short, I hope, and brief. So if you spot something that I didn't explain, feel free to comment and ask me for a little bit more information. As always, you can get started for free at 30daysofgoddess.com, where you will find a printable prayer book and affirmation or a prayer deck and all kinds of cards that you can use there, as well as monthly updates, monthly videos, and practice updates, all free, and a newsletter to sign up for. It just comes twice a month, and you do have access to our monthly live Simple and Sacred Circle. If you become a member of our Goddess Magic community on Patreon, you also get these awesome monthly guidebooks and snapshot cards and Goddess Guidance Club packet for you as well, so you can explore those options. We also do weekly live community practices on Facebook. We have the live circle. You get a post pretty much every day of the year in the Goddess Magic community, so do feel free to come on over to Patreon and join us there. But 30 Days of Goddess will get you started for free. 30 Days Goddess Magic will get you a deep dive. So moving on to July, and the goddess we were honoring was Ariadne. So I have my nice, so sparkly, nice sticker of Ariadne there. I have a lot of stuff that I'm still using in the pocket. This lovely journal cover was made for me by Lacey Hoyt of Livy Made with Love on Etsy. And I still have stuff in the front. These cards actually transferred over with me from last month from one of our Ariadne circles, and I still haven't used them on a page. Their size makes them a little awkward to fit in there, and so there's some things in the pocket. These will just keep living here in this little built-in pocket in my journal cover, and I will transfer my August book into this cover shortly. And then I have ditto. There's stuff left in the back pocket. That's a sewn pocket, and then I use the snapshot cards to make pockets, and there's more stuff in there. So July was a full month and there's lots left over, but again, there's not a right way and there's not a behind. So if you end up with things like this, just move them to the next book, or even sometimes it's something that you're just never going to use, and that's okay. You can, you don't have to use everything. So I picked up this bookmark at the library. Library programs are over now. I probably am not going to end up using that bookmark in my book after all. I thought I was going to. Oh well, it's okay. We can keep going. So I have the crystals for the July full moon card in here. That it came from Ashley Levy of Love and Light School and Mimosa School of Crystals. And then I have my Woman Runes immersion card, because we were doing the Woman Runes immersion over on the Goddess Magic community throughout the month of July. It ended on July 31st, and so I have my postcard. I sent those postcards out for magic mail for people, and I wanted to have it keep me company in this book. This little pocket here is where I put my cutout runes for me to draw each day, and I end up with some left because there's 41 runes in only 30 or 31 days, and so any leftover runes actually get moved over to the next month's pocket. So it is actually possible for me to draw the same rune multiple times during a month because of the overlapping occasional duplicates, and I find that like kind of a rewarding way to use it. I hear a lovely hawk, I believe, calling. Moon wheel, I got partially colored on that. And then this was a pretty full month, and so I have my pictures and things represented as we move through, and some lovely background pages created by my friend Chalet, and this is a book of backgrounds that's available on Lulu as well, and this is her tie-dye work, actually, some of which are tie-dye pieces that I actually have that are reproduced in paper form, so that's kind of fun. I have this botanical postcards section. I can't see the hawk. Sometimes blue jays make hawk sounds too, so that might be a decoy blue jay, but I think it is a broad-winged hawk, which migrate at this time of year and often pop up in my poems. They're a specific type of hawk. I think sometimes people think when I say broad-winged, I'm using it as a descriptor, but it really is the name of a specific hawk species. So they're called broad-winged hawks, and they migrate through. They're a little smaller, and they have kind of a rusty metal sound to their cry. You might not even be able to hear that, so me commenting on it might just seem like, what? But whatever. Little nature facts for you. This is a little wax seal that my daughter made for me, some stuff from Amanda Fall of the Phoenix Soul. She has some great art journaling stuff. Highly recommend popping over to her Patreon. Oh, my Great Between book was published released in pre-order. It's published but finished, and so I have my little card for it that I put in my pocket. My daughter Elena got a bunny named Clementine, so she's represented in here. A nice thank you from Mari, and then a illustration from Ariadne's thread in there as well. The stickers came from Mari too. More of my friend Chalet's paperwork. Got these writer stickers from Nikki. That was so fun, and so you see those popping up. The book stickers popping up. That's another Amanda Fall piece. That was from Teresa, a postcard from her shop, Whimsy and Enchantment. Another wax seal for my daughter. And as always, this came from Kim in some of her ephemera swap stuff. I just love how many people are actually represented in these books each month. So then my parents had their big 50th anniversary. We had these 50th anniversary key bottle openers as party favors. And so then there's a little printed out version of the poster that we had made and the art that my kids made for them for their 50th anniversary. And we did tethered hot air balloon rides. And so there we are, and the little things we made for them. So that's all represented. And I just went ahead and put the key in the pocket, and it's gonna live in my book. And so a lot of life reflected on these pages, and a lot of people reflected on these pages too. This was a envelope from a Audubon Society or something, and so I turned that to kind of a fun little pocket thing. And yeah, I found some feathers. Those are real flowers from our, those were from my parents' bouquet, from one of my parents' bouquets from their anniversary party. That's what they're from. I'm like, I knew that's from somewhere that I put that in there. So some of my pages are a little on the simpler side because I've had a lot going on. This has been July was a busy month, and I'm looking forward to some time to steep in August in our Cauldron month time. And these were some extra cards from an oracle deck. These are from a catalog. And I work on these pages. There's another sticker that my daughter designed. I work on these pages with my younger son, and so he's been using my punches a lot, and he gives me some of his leftover punches. Mark and I went to Echo Bluff State Park for a tiny little trip for our 26th anniversary. We had a really, really wonderful time, and I'm so glad that we allowed ourselves to do that. It was just what we needed. We created a goddess grid together, our 26th anniversary goddess grid. We were there. There's a room key thing, and I put a little note in it, and there's some redbud seeds. Actually, there's some redbud seeds in the pocket as well. So those are actually from, what I do is I usually leave most of what I use to make the grid with. I usually leave on the earth as an offering, but I did keep a couple little pieces of it for our 26th anniversary and pressed them into my book. So it's a combination of leaving it behind in gratitude and also taking a couple of pieces with me to remember the lesson. So there's a few more pieces of it here on that page as well. And then we went to St. Louis to City Museum. If you're part of my Patreon, you got to hear a whole description of the massive overwhelm of being at City Museum. Went to Culver's on the way. Why not keep our little tag from our window? Anything is fodder for a prayer book. And I like how so many things can be represented in there. Did a painting class with my friend Tracy. It's not done yet, but a cauldron is emerging from that. And then already at the end, this was, we were doing our Ariadne circle and wrote an intention scroll for the moon cycle. This is from a rice candy from Global Foods. And so that's the intention scroll from that Ariadne circle. And then my Goddess Guidance Club packet and bookmark and my intuitive gift Story Goddess Oracle card of the month packet that was left over from my Gaia Goddess Gathering keynote last year, and then I saved secret envelopes for myself to open every month this year. That has been really fun. I super look forward to seeing who I'm gonna get. And Arianrod was my card to accompany Ariadne. Ariadne. Okay, it's always hard for me to say that one. I've even watched pronunciation videos and it goes right out the window. So she's joining in here. And then, as I said, I have some leftover stuff. I will cut out these cards and move them on to another book to use to make little books, etc. Oh my goodness, I think I see I still have woman runes in the back here too, because I had so many extra to move over from past months. So those will also get cut out and moved into future books. But otherwise, that month is done. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you briefly the guidebook for July. I actually ended up, so this was a combined one, and I have my snapshot cards and I do weekly inspiration oracle cards for the Goddess Magic community, and so the ones that are in progress are tucked in there. Some of the other ones I'm still working on are in here. Those will get moved over to August as well. Our Goddess Wheel of the Year in progress. And then just going to do a quick flip through. So you'll see Freya represented in here too, because this was a combined guidebook. I'm not going to do any more combined guidebooks this year. I'm going to go ahead and stick with month to month, because I think people, including me, prefer it that way. And so I used some stickers, used some coloring. Here I am with Ariadne, got her colored in. Nice page there. And some more stuff from Amanda Fall, some more stuff from Chalet. Little, oops. Maybe it won't go, oh yeah, little pocket tag with a note on the back in there. I don't necessarily color everything here. I really use these books as a touch point, so to speak. I reread the stuff in here almost every day. I find it really helpful way of recommitting to and rerouting into the messages and themes of each month's practice, and revisiting them and letting ourselves sink into it instead of rushing on to the next thing. I, just like anyone else, am as susceptible as anyone to rushing on to the next thing. Sometimes I feel like I'm more susceptible than some people to rushing on to the next thing. And so having this information included together in one spot really helps me steep in it. It really helps me marinate in it. It really helps me embody it, inhabit it, live it. And I'm all about living our magic. And I feel like having resources like this helps us deepen into and actually live our magic, because we have something that we can actually hold on to, that we can come back to. We have a container, a sacred space of returning right here under our fingertips. So if we feel lost, we feel disconnected, we feel uncertain, we can return, we can return, we can return, and we have a physical space of holding, of nurturing, of support, of sustenance. We have it right here, of renewal, and we can reread things, we can keep our bits of magic, we can tap back in, we can root down, and it just makes it like a lot easier to have it at our fingertips, especially so when we feel lost and uncertain, we can touch in and say, oh, I'm going to read this underworld poem, and it brings you back, or it reconnects you, or it reaffirms you. So I really find these books powerful ways of deepening and committing and returning. And so here's some pieces that came from Kim in our ephemera swap. This one, postcards from Kimberly Rodriguez. And then I'm so adorable that I have this little butterfly envelope in here. And then I have the teeny tiny Ariadne prayer book. So amazing in my little butterfly, and you'll see those recur because I got some more of these little butterfly envelopes, so I can keep doing that because I just love it. And if you get one of the patron kits, you will eventually see one of those little butterfly envelopes in your future as well. Spoiler alert from that, because I think they're so fun. And then I keep little bits and pieces from my own newsletter stuck in here. Another one of those cards. I forget the name of that deck. It was a on sale Oracle deck at Barnes & Noble, and I've lost the name of it. I sent those out with Magic Mail, I believe, at one point. Had that action items to-do list for my soul that I talked about in a newsletter. And then there we are, an extra cards in the back, some in-progress goddesses. These look way better after they're cut out. I just do them with temper paint sticks, and you just and then it makes them look pretty and colorful, and then you can cut them out and use them in other places. You'll see one in my Ariadne mini book in just a minute. I have extra cut out prayer cards here to use, but really A lot of these practices, as I always say, it's about, and then both Freya and Ariadne on the back, a lot of these practices really are about making space for the sacred and for yourself in your own life. And they're also about returning. They're also about creating a base of support for yourself, a blessing basket, a sacred site of renewal and return, a place to come home, a place to return, a place to reaffirm, a place to recommit, a place to renew. And so the little books and practices and cards become a site of that renewal, that reclamation, and that return. And then last of all, I have my teeny tiny, or no, it's not teeny tiny, my mini Ariadne prayer book. This one I used this little card that, isn't that cute with a little glitter in it? My mom got the card in a silent auction, I think perhaps at GGG. It was a little set of note cards. Oh, it has a handcrafted by, and then she decided she didn't want them and she gave them to my daughter, and then my daughter gave me one of them, and I thought, you know what, this is a fun little prayer card, a prayer book cover, and so I used it for my Ariadne book. Another wax seal for my daughter on the back on the little envelope. And these little mini ones I don't do that much with. I don't color all of them. I get them printed on colored paper so that they have a little pop of color, and then I just enjoy paging through them periodically. Oh, there's one of the goddesses done with the temper paint sticks that I was talking about. So see how much better she looks when she's cut out instead of so messy. And then I have a little piece, I think from a newsletter or something else that I wrote. And so a few little stickers in here to jazz it up a little bit. And then some cut out pieces from notes, from prayer books, guidebooks, etc. I just put those in there as I feel like it. A little extra prayer card in the back. And then that little mini prayer book is done. I do hope to put the mini prayer books that I've done for each goddess together into one finished book at the end of the year. So if you're in the Goddess Magic Patreon community, you can keep your eyes out for that compilation volume at the end of the year. I hope I end up having time to do that. So thank you so much for being here. Welcome to August, and keep living your magic. Bye-bye.